Good morning. My name is Rob Johnson. I'm the interim city manager of the city of Menifee. Very, very excited to be with you this morning to share a little bit about what's happening with the city of Menifee and how the council has really banded together, including Mr. Denver here, one of our council members. Thanks for being here, sir, and thanks for making sure that I was invited. Appreciate that.
It was a lot of work.
I know. So I was going to start out with a joke about how 3 city managers walk into a bar, but I think that was appropriate. So this is quickly going downhill, so I'll get to my presentation. At the city of Menifee, on Tuesday night, council passed the upcoming budget, $23 million budget, with $23 million in expenses. We did use some of our fund balance to purchase some capital improvement, not programs, but capital improvement. There I went blanking because I went off my script. You guys are going to love this, huh? Later. We used some of our money on capital improvement programs that we didn't have in our operating expenses and couldn't afford, but we had a 37% fund balance with a 28% emergency reserve. So we're still far above our emergency reserve, which is a council policy. So in our general fund, there we go. You can see that this is a $23 million in revenue sources from a wide variety of places. Does not include $4 million of motor vehicle license fees, which were taken from the city back in 2010. We're on our third effort to restore those funds through the state. And yesterday we got news of SB 56, which passed out of the Government and Finance Committee with a 7-0 vote. It has an urgency clause on it, which means that it needs 2/3 vote through the Senate and then through the Assembly, and then it can actually become law, which will restore that $4 million. What it doesn't include is what we considered a bump, which was an additional amount of money that was to be sent back to the city. But what we're looking at is $4 million a year, and in a vacuum, that doesn't seem like much, but over 10 years, that's $40 million in revenue that the city would actually get back. So we're pretty excited to have that move forward. These are our expenditures by department. You can see our greatest interest in our budget itself is public safety. That's police and fire. Last year, this is from 2012-13. We didn't have time to set all of our slides in from 2 nights ago to this morning, but I can tell you that 67% last year turned into 72% of our budget this year. So 72% of our expenses go to public safety. I can also tell you that we did not increase police officers, so that's a 5% increase just on cost of services alone. A little bit about the city of Menifee. Most of you might not even know this fact. The city now has a population of 82,292. That was as of May 1st, 2012. We got that from the Department of Finance. At incorporation, on October 1st, 2008, we had 65,000 population. So you've seen that we've grown pretty dramatically over the past couple of years. We're 46.6 square miles. We were the 3rd largest. Harupa Valley joined as a municipality and bumped us down to number 4. So in square miles and area, Riverside County, Southwest Riverside County, we're the 4th largest city by mileage. Our median age, this might surprise you, is now 38. You can see by this slide that 80% of the folks of the house of the 27,400 households are single-family detached homes. 77% are owner-occupied. 35% of the building date was between 1999 and 2010. Homes with children under 18, 35%. The largest age range is 18 to 44, and that's 47% of our population. Homes with residents over 65 is 15%. Very, very interesting. If you haven't taken a look at Menifee over the last couple of years, you'll be very surprised by statistics. If you've been following along with us, you know that we are now in a position where economic development activities are at the forefront of what we do so that we can keep pace with the population and we can bring amenities to our newly age-lowered residents. We do have, we're anticipating our population reach 100,000 by 2020. It could be sooner than that. Currently, we have 36 full-time employees for 46.6 square miles and 82,000 population. You'll hear a wide variety of statistics up here but I can honestly tell you that we probably have the lowest staffing to population ratio probably in, I know in Southwest Riverside County. Our regional trade area by population is about 700,000 within 10 miles of the city center, which we have concluded is around Newport and Hahn area. So in a 10-mile circle around that, there's about 700,000 people in that trade area. Obviously, we need amenities to keep pace with our rising population. Some of our successes over the past couple of years, we've had a balanced budget the last 2 years. That's on the operating side. Yes, we've used some fund balance for capital improvements or capital purchases, but we've had no service cuts. We haven't laid anybody off, and we have not, and we've expanded the services we've offered. So people that are walking in the door that need services, we've actually offered those services for what we currently have in our budget. We've been able to adjust and move things around rather well. 28% of our general fund is in a reserve. But that is also a 37% fund balance. What that means is 37% of our expenditures are held off to the side and not used. We have approved a draft land use map for the general plan. Our general plan has been moving forward. We're updating it. There's 4 to 7 core areas that we're working on with council. We had a general plan advisory committee a couple years ago that went through planning commission. This year in January, the council approved and adopted the draft land use map for the general plan. That's now moving forward, and we expect the general plan to come back to council in early August and September for hopefully by June 30th we'll have a brand new adopted general plan. This year, council on Tuesday night approved the first year of a brand new 5-year capital improvement program. It's about $69 million in infrastructure improvements over the next 5 years. I've been with the city of Menifee since September of 2009, and I've seen us work in a vacuum every year. We're struggling to find out a year at a time what we're going to be able to do. And what we've done with council's direction and another former city manager, which you may have heard of, Sean Nelson, has been hired by the city council as an executive consultant. We used his expertise and we used the regional perspective, and we looked out over our capital improvement needs for the next 5 years, and we captured what we believe is revenue that will be coming in over that 5-year period, something we've never done before. So we're not just working from year to year anymore. Now we're working 5 years out. And what we found is that we have 7 major infrastructure projects, and this is going to help the real estate market. It's going to help our economic development activities. It's going to help the current population residents that are in our city be able to move about through traffic circulation. And it's going to help those people who cut through our city. We don't appreciate, but we wave and they go by sometimes. But these 7 infrastructure projects, Newport Road Widening Project, this is actually coming back. Council actually directed us to go out for bid on this. We'll be receiving the bids on June 28th. It will come back on July 2nd. We hope for approval and start construction August 1st. What this is going to do on Newport between Antelope and Menifee is it's going to actually add an additional lane in each direction. We're going to do that all within the public right-of-way. We're also going to add another turn lane, which will be traveling west on Newport to south on Antelope. We're doing that now because the next project, or 2 projects down, is the Newport Road I-215 interchange. I'm going to talk about that, but before I do, we got some great news in working with one of our developers of the El Dorado project between Aldergate and Simpson. We made an agreement with them, and that will be coming forward to City Council for consideration and hopefully approval on July 2nd as well, that what we call the missing link piece of Menifee Road will actually be built and installed prior to the Newport Interchange project. What that's going to do is allow east-west, north-south traffic around the interchange project so that people can get up to McCall and get up to Highway 74. They can get to the freeway that way without going through the construction process in progress. That, hopefully, will kick off between August 1st and August 17th. So we're going to have 2 major projects to alleviate traffic and circulation going on at the same time. Those projects will be conditioned to do double shift and night work so that the majority of people who are traveling during the day won't be affected by that. The Newport Road I-215 interchange is taking the current gridlock that you see every day. It's funny to talk about it, and I'll just, with all candor, we have people come to council and they're really frustrated about that. It's not that the council doesn't understand that we have a traffic problem. I mean, it's pretty obvious, you can see it. But it's connecting the funds and making sure that the project is appropriately moving forward. And unfortunately, those things take time, and those things are being done, and people can't see that that's being done. But not only is the design there and the preliminary and the environmental being done, all that's completed on Newport. We're waiting for the plans and specifications to be complete. We're anticipating to go out to bid in September of this year, and we're anticipating construction to start in spring of 2014. It's an 18-month project. There's going to be a little problem in there still, but we believe that how we're going to be directing and managing that construction, it's actually a partial tear down and rebuild. So the overpass, the interchange is not the same height. So the north side is the right height. What will happen is the north side will be expanded. The actual dedicated right turn on-ramps will be built. And then after the south side is torn down, the two on-ramps will be connected. So we'll actually have right turn onlys onto the freeway and through traffic with no stop, with no signals, which is causing a majority of the issues. So even though it'll be under construction, those two dedicated right turns onto the freeway will be there, and so traffic will still be able to move through on 2 lanes. So pretty excited about that. We do have the Holland Road overcrossing at I-215. That is under preliminary design and going through environmental right now. It's about 3 years off, but we do have that in our CIP program. There's a Bradley Road overcrossing. We've been going back and forth between do we build a bridge, do we not build a bridge? Do we put big culverts in, do we not put big culverts in? Those of you that are familiar with that area that is between Newport and let's say Cherry Hills, you actually travel down into Salt Creek and out the other side. It wouldn't matter how much we dug out underneath the road to put a pipe in. The bottom line is it's in the Salt Creek. So the only thing that we really can do to solve that issue is to actually build an overcrossing over that. So we're looking into that, and that's part of our capital improvement project. Scott Road and I-215, we're working with the county on that. We're also adding McCall that we found was on the TUMP network that we hadn't identified previously, and that's going to, we have money for that for design. We opened 4 major restaurants in the city, Texas Roadhouse, Miguel's Jr., Panera, and BJ's, and yes, we do need more restaurants. We do need more retail. We approved, council did, a restaurant incentive program. We're actually working on a business incentive program right now. There's an ordinance working through Jeff Wyman, our economic development director, is working on that right now, and that should be coming back to council, we hope, around, I think it's the 16th, is that right? July 16th. So council will have an opportunity to hear that and hopefully approve that as well. We adopted the first CDBG entitlement program. Before we were working through the county and we got a little portion of CDBG. Now we're getting a larger portion of CDBG. We developed and debuted Menifee Matters. It's a city community newsletter. It goes out to our 30,000 households. We also have an e-newsletter, which is a companion to that. If you're interested in either one of those and getting on the mailing list or being a part of that, feel free to go on our website at cityofmenifee.us and you can list your name in there. We've also developed a military banner program. We have 33 banners now highlighting the military and honoring them for their active service, and also for any veterans that would like to have a banner up throughout the city. We look at our city organization a little differently than some of the other ones. We really believe that after council sets policy and provides direction to me, I'm working hand in hand with the department directors to make sure that those policies are actually followed through with. We don't have much of a hierarchy. We have, again, 36 staff, so we work pretty hand in hand together. I know that all of us are working city managers, and that's just something that we do in this day and age. Public safety, we can contract with the Riverside County CAL FIRE, and the Sheriff's Department. We have a proactive Public Works Department. Our Public Works Department is much like any other. If there's an incident or an accident, a Public Works crew goes out and helps with road closures, and they're on 24/7. I told you guys I was going to talk for like 30 minutes. They didn't believe me. No, I'm just kidding. Almost done. We have enhancement projects. This is a portion that kind of held over from a previous council, but the council here that's in place now really understands that there's areas of our cities that we say that we need to make improvements on. We put money aside for this in our community improvement program, and the things that we have done so far, we've improved the Newport median, we've done several sidewalk improvements, we've done community cleanup days, We've done sidewalk and pathway improvements in Quail Valley. We rehabbed a fire station parking lot and some landscaping. The E-County EDA did a highway landscaping project on 74. We've held community cleanup days in Romaland, and we've done some right-of-way landscape improvements throughout Sun City. We have a couple more that are coming this year in regard to our median projects. If you've driven through the city, specifically in Sun City area, there are a lot of medians in there that need to be reworked and revamped, and we're working on that. We're near receiving our final quote for a bid, and we're going to be moving forward on that soon. We do also have a focused economic development plan. We developed an economic development plan. We shared it with council. They approved it, and we're doing that to obviously to create revenue and provide amenities for our citizens. Obviously, the best opportunity we have right now for increased revenue is through restaurants, retail, and commercial job creation. We did a study, and that study showed that we had a $422 million retail leakage out of our city. So these gentlemen up here can thank us for spending money in their city, but we want to stop that. Sorry, guys. You're welcome. We definitely and desperately need to stop that. That's our major opportunity for additional revenue, that we can have more police officers, that we can make more improvements to our roads and structures, that we can create parks and a community services department for our residents. So we're pretty excited about that. I just shared with you about our deficient sales tax, but if you look at this chart, and this was from 2011, you'll see that Menifee had a $60 per person per capita what we're spending in our city. That's changed a little bit because our population has risen so much. But if you look at the other ones, again, this is 2011, there's quite a disparity between what our residents are spending in our city and what residents are spending in other cities. It's a great opportunity for us. That's how we're looking at it. The economic development policy is already paying off through increased sales tax. You can see we're steadily increasing from 11-12 to 12-13 $1 million in additional revenue just in sales tax alone. 24% increase in sales tax receipts from 2010 to 2012-13. The more we get, the more we can do. Jeff Wyman, I'll attribute it to him, his economic development strategic marketing for industry, retail, commercial, restaurant, and area details. This is really the first opportunity we've had to put a comprehensive economic development plan together. Jeff Wyman's done a phenomenal job on that. If you want information like this, make sure you get his card, call the city, talk to him. He's done a phenomenal job of putting us not only on the map, but getting us into a professional looking environment where we work. Our activities, we obviously want to reach out to businesses and investors through our attraction program, through a business retention program. We want to create jobs, obviously, and the focus on the jobs that we create is the revenue that we need to support city essential services, police and fire, public works, roads, streets. Some of our successes, again, we adopted the restaurant incentive program, moving forward with the business incentive program and ordinance. We've attracted BJ's and Panera, which are two phenomenal restaurants and doing very well for us. Obviously, we have ongoing negotiations with multiple investors. We have city beautification improvement projects to clean our city up a bit. I can't stand weeds, so if I drive to work and I see a weed, I call Public Works. We get somebody out there, they pull a weed. I know it sounds crazy, but you drive through your town and you're seeing weeds in areas that shouldn't be. We need to get that cleaned up. It's those little things. I shared that with our staff. There's only 36 of us, but we have, what's 36 times 2? Is that... 72. So we have 72 eyes, and they need to keep one eye on the road, and they need to keep the other eye on the community to make sure that if there are things they see in the public right-of-way or things they see on private property that need to be cleaned up, they need to tell Public Works, and we need to get out there and clean it up. That's what we've directed them to do. Also on Tuesday night, something that will really help us with this and all the other activity that's coming into the city is the mayor appointed 4 new ad hoc committees and divided the economic development opportunities into quadrants of the cities that are directly related and connected to the districts that we have. We have a 4-district city with a mayor who's elected at large, and he appointed 2 council persons to each one of those ad hoc committees so that when these projects are proposed or coming forward or we think we've got a great plan, on what we want to do in a particular area. We're going to run that through the ad hoc committee. We're going to get their feedback, and the ad hoc committee then will go to the council, and they'll make recommendations on a policy direction for staff to move forward. It's a pretty good concept. A lot of the other cities are already using it, and we needed to implement that for us. Let's talk about homes. We have a lot of homes under construction. From what I understand right now, Autumn River Ranch is selling dirt. That's great for us. That means there's not any houses out there for people to buy, but people are still coming in and want to purchase them. And there's a long laundry list of folks waiting in line for the opportunity to buy a piece of dirt. It's something that we saw a few years ago, and it's coming back for us. Audie Murphy Ranch, beautiful master plan development. If you come through the west side of Newport through town, beautiful. They've done a phenomenal job on landscaping. They've done a wonderful job on promoting their homes that are for sale and going to be for sale. And they're also creating one of our largest regional parks with the skate park. We're really excited about that for the community. Not only Audie Murphy Ranch, though, KB Home in the Evans area, they're still moving forward in the Hidden Hills development. We have the vineyards at Menifee. We have the Pacific communities out in Heritage Lakes. We are under construction, and it's good to see. This is the city's approach to improving the quality of life. We kind of created a quality of life cycle for ourselves. And we're going to start with the property owners that get higher property values, and they do that through schools. The schools get the increased support. Visitors come and they shop more, and we have more recreation options. That turns into the city with increased provision for essential services for sheriff and fire, code enforcement, and for public works. The residents then enjoy new benefits and amenities, and then we get more businesses with more customers and more revenue, which drive property owners and higher values and so on and so forth. So this is what we're looking to do and maintain in the city of Menifee. We're moving ahead. We're undertaking activities today that are going to benefit our residents in the future, tomorrow, starting tomorrow, and the day after, for a higher quality of life. So I appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit about the city of Menifee, and that's my presentation this morning.